All right, hello everyone. It is Corundum Core. You can call me Ruby, and I am back again to be hosting the next couple of runs. Before we get started with Enter the Gungeon, I do have one donation to read off here. We have $20 from Devin. Though your size may be small, your talent is large. How inspirational. All right, and with that, I think we are ready for Dan the VP with Enter the Gungeon. Take it away, Dan.
All right, good morning, everyone. We've got a nice long run of Enter the Gungeon coming up. I am Dan the VP, and this is going to be all floors, which it takes a little bit of explanation to make everything make sense. So this is a roguelite. It is a bullet hell game. I feel like a lot of people are familiar with it, but Enter the Gungeon was released in 2016, and it has since been given lots of updates. And that's what we're going to do today. There is 5 main floors. There are 5 bonus floors, so that's going to be 10 floors, 10 bosses. We're going to get it all done. Fingers crossed. We are playing on a modified version of the game for marathon purposes. Since there was so much stuff added, it was never really added with the intent of being able to always do everything in one run. A lot of things in Enter the Gungeon are meant to, you find them out in one run, and you do them in another run, and you eventually, achieve all your goals. And so for that purpose, I want to give a huge shout out to the Rotbot, who did all the programming and development for the mod that I'm using. Hopefully you'll never see it. We put a lot of work into the mod, never affecting the game unless we just get some really bad RNG. An example of that is the game might just not spawn enough money for us to buy all of the required items we need. So there's a couple items that, because of the mod, we can go into debt to buy. So it really never gives us an advantage, and just makes sure we can finish this run. If for some reason something goes wrong and we do take a death, there are some shortcuts I can use. We can jump right back into the game. And since I'm running on a modded version, we can kind of fudge things, because it's best to look at this as much as of an exhibition as it is a speed run, because the world record for this is going to be half the estimate. So hopefully you'll get to see a lot of cool things and enjoy Enter the Gungeon. So we're going to hop right in here. And we've got an in-game timer, and the in-game timer, which you see on the screen, is what would be used for an actual speed run of this. And so that timer will start when we start moving here, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so like I said, Enter the Gungeon is a roguelite. There are a total of 8 characters you can unlock, and there are hundreds and hundreds of items and guns that you unlock either through finding them in the Gungeon or by purchasing them with currency that we get by doing runs. Gungeon kind of tends more towards the original Rogue game, which is the namesake for the genre, in that there really is no way to permanently upgrade your character. Some of the characters you can unlock are stronger than others, so that's kind of the only permanent progression system. Now, you do unlock items, and those, you can unlock some really strong items, which I'm hoping I will see. That makes this run a lot safer. But that's the main mechanic, other than, you're learning the game, learning the enemy patterns and spawns in rooms. That's the real progression, that kind of mental progression. And so the floors are randomly generated, but they're randomly generated on a base of logic that we have mostly figured out. Oh, that's a really good gun. Hopefully I have enough money for that. We mostly have the logic figured out. It doesn't come into play as much in an all floors run, and I'll talk about that a little bit. But just huge shout out to Spleen, who's got the all the reference material put together. We can tell where we need to go to find the boss in each floor based on how the rooms are spawning, how many exits we have in a room, and kind of where other things in the Gungeon are spawning. And if we were doing any percent, we got the boss right there, which we are not going to jump into because I'd prefer to have a gun before we get to the boss, other than my starter pistol. And so doing all floors necessitates that we do some extra things. Like I said before, we're really not designed that you do all of these things in one run, but you're going to get to see them all live right here, hopefully. So in this first floor, we need to find a room with a fireplace, and we're going to use a barrel of water to extinguish the fireplace, and that's going to give us access to a secret lever that reveals a secret room. And you can see I'm avoiding these chests as well. All right, here's the fireplace room. I'm avoiding these chests because I'm going to also need 2 keys to access the secret floor. And the way these shops work in this game is each floor is always going to spawn a key. So we know at bare minimum, I'm going to have a key. I'm going to have enough keys to always unlock that trapdoor. All right, well, we don't have enough keys to spend money yet, so we're going to jump into the boss with the starter pistol. Hopefully the boss drops a key. That would be really convenient, or else I'm going to have to spend some money on one. But each floor we're going to see, each of the normal floors, we're going to have one of 3 bosses spawn. And all of the bonus floors have a set boss. I might call them secret floors. But all of the bonus floors have a determined boss, and the bosses also kind of help set our expectation for what the room RNG is going to be. On the normal floors, the bosses are basically going to show up anywhere, but it really doesn't help direct us. But for instance, the first secret floor, which is the oubliette, we know the boss room has to be entered from below, so that's going to kind of orientate me and trying to discern what the layout is, because I know the boss has a limited amount of places it can spawn at. All right, so we got no key, we got some money, means, and we got the sawed-off shotgun. I'm gonna go up here, and I'm gonna go ahead and sell this shotgun. We got good RNG that we have the vendor here. That's gonna give me enough money to, well, okay, is there any, we got a couple rooms left. I would really like to buy the gun in this shop along with this key, so we're going to hopefully get money in this room, but probably not. We got a key, yo, let's go. So I didn't have to buy the key, but we're able to open a chest. I'm also going to go over here and break this chest. Even if you can't open chests, they can potentially have stuff inside. And we got another key. Let's go. This is 100% the game trolling me by giving me 2 keys after I buy keys. But that is floor 1. We're making our way into the oubliette. And so this is, this game is also full of so many items, it's hard to keep track. And I will apologize in advance for any Gungeon fans out there. I'm going to call just about everything by probably the wrong name. It is extremely difficult to remember what things are outside of what I call them in my own brain. But that being said, almost everything in this game is a gun-related pun. And so if it sounds like I'm slightly mispronouncing or missaying something, it's probably a pun. And one of the last updates to this game was also the Advanced Gungeons and Dragons update. And if you are a fellow D&D nerd like myself, you probably recognize lots and lots of D&D related puns and enemy names. We've got the Cannonball Rog, there's Displacer Beasts, we got some Wall Masters from, you know, the Zelda games we all love. But this is the oubliette. It's themed after I believe an oubliette is like a tower dungeon accessible through a trap door. I think is like the actual definition for what an oubliette is. So we unlock a trap door to get down here, and it's kind of the sewer. Got lots of poison enemies. You can see kind of these poison fields on the ground. There's a couple of kinds of different, what's the word for it? Like environmental damage. There's some explosive barrels. There's these, it's like oil there that can be set on fire. But you'll see lots of poison and fire in this run. And the way those things work, go ahead and unlock this door while we have the time. The way that poison and fire works is if you stand in poison, the poison's going to slowly build up, and you're going to see kind of a green meter around my character when that happens. And if you stand in the poison too long, you'll then take a tick of damage and your poison meter goes back to 0. And then fire is kind of the opposite. As soon as you get hit with fire, you start burning. And so you have to roll, literally stop, drop, and roll to put the fire out. So just a little something to keep an eye out for. Hopefully I won't do too much burning. Oh, God. These are my least favorite rooms in the game. As you can imagine, taking damage is not a great strategy for all floors runs, or just, Gungeon in general. And those hazard rooms. A lot of things are fun to do in Enter the Gungeon. Fun guns, bullet hell bosses, puzzles. Platforming in Enter the Gungeon, not one of those things. A lot of times you can avoid those rooms, but there we were locked into it. But the game was kind and gave me a heart back there. And that's another thing to kind of mention. Every time we clear a room, there's a chance for an item to spawn. That could be ammunition, that could be a heart, it could be a key, it could be just about anything. There's some modifiers in the game that make it more likely that we're going to get items. But you will see things just kind of pop up like that. That's just random RNG in the game. Which, if you're a fan of games with RNG, we still been like 7 games since this game's been out, and we've come close to being able to seed RNG in this game. But it's so complex. Like, the matrix for the RNG is so complex, it's still really fuzzy. And after you play one seed, unless everyone is on an identical save file, the seeding just completely blows up. So the game likes to, when the game decides it wants to give you an item, that kind of decision point can stick in your save file until you decide to actually play with that item. And there's some speed runs that benefit from having kind of a curated save file. There's some ways to play the game where you're kind of given a set of items instead of just random things dropping. So a lot of different ways to play the game, and there are a lot of different speedrun categories, from really long like this one to just a couple of minutes long like boss rush categories. But if this does look like something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. And it should be mentioned, the beginning of this game or the beginning of this run is hopefully by far the most difficult portion of it. Our resources are a lot more limited, and we need money and keys to complete the objectives. So I have to be a little bit more sparing with how I spend things, which leaves us a little bit more vulnerable. It's also the reason, all right, we got a full clear of this. So I'm going to go ahead and buy a key so I can open both of these chests. So every floor in the Gungeon is going to spawn 2 chests. And we know one chest is going to have a gun. One chest is going to have a... Oh, well, that was a good pickup. One chest is going to have a gun, and one chest is going to have an item. So anytime you can open both chests, you can guarantee yourself a gun. And that is important because the character we're playing as is the gunslinger. And the last update in the game introduced the synergies mechanic. And I know things are just like flying all over the screen right now, so bear with me while I try to explain. So what synergies does is it adds extra effects when you have, you know, two items that synergize together. And what the gunslinger does is he gets every synergy for every gun you pick up. And if that sounds like it's like crazy powerful, congratulations, you're right, it is. So like for these guns, for instance, I have both of them, and one of the synergies you can get with these guns are you can wield them both at once. So it makes things interesting and also makes the gunslinger really strong. I am going to conserve my ammo here. So after the Blobulord there, which was the boss in the Oubliette, I picked up this old crest, which if you look at the top, let me not die here, please. If you look at the top left of my screen, you can see my red hearts, and then you can see armor, which is to the right of those hearts. Anytime you pick up armor, it's always the first thing in your health pool. If you take damage, it's always going to take damage from the armor first. The armor serves to limit any damage taken to just one piece of armor, no matter how much health it would do. And the old crest specifically is a piece of armor that's always at the beginning of your health pool. And we need the old crest to act as a key on this floor. So the challenge to unlock the bonus stage for stage 2 is to find where we need to leave the old crest without taking any damage at all. And that can be tough because this room can spawn in lots of different places, and also you're very limited. You can be very limited based on what guns you have. Another thing to point out, as I just used one there, is at the start of each floor we start with 2 blanks, which those are the kind of blue things, blue little bullet casings on the top left of the screen as well, which I just used one. And they clear all bullets from the screen. So I'm going to be using them on this floor to kind of keep from taking damage, to try to make sure I do the old crest in the intended manner. And I say in the intended manner because this is another part of the safety mod. We do have a backup old crest so that if for some reason I took a point of damage, the entire run isn't ruined just because I took damage once. The old crest room is going to spawn most likely off of the shop or off of a chest room. So at this point, I'm actually trying to avoid where I think the boss is, and is specifically unlucky as well. We got a mini boss, and I'm trying not to take damage. This gun is not terrible, seeing as we've got a combo gun. The Tetris gun builds up pieces on the enemy, and then when you get enough pieces, it then explodes. All right. Where's my gun? I'm gonna go back to the starter gun. Still trying to conserve ammunition here. That is also a big part of getting through this run and getting through the run alive, is having bullet. Oh, well. We're gonna see the backup now. Sniper got me from behind, but that is fine. We already have the shop unlocked, so I can go back and grab that the backup old crest. But now we get to see the mod in action, which the mod is also a really impressive part of this run. Which this gives us no real advantage other than, you know, letting us continue the run after taking a hit. Which I guess that is an advantage, but we're not any stronger now. Only a momentary advantage. All right. Floor 2 is being specifically long. It's really unlucky that I found a chest and the shop without finding the place to drop off the crest. But and we buy the secondary crest here, turn it in, put the crest on the altar, and now we've got a key, and that's a gun. So if that hadn't been a gun, I would have bought another key so I could open the other chest and get a guaranteed gun, but it was a gun. So we're gonna go on to the second floor boss, and we get the gore gun. I'm gonna try to specifically name out all the boss gun puns, so please holler at me in chat if I neglect that. I also have an item here. It's the magazine rack that if I use it and stand in it, I have unlimited ammo while it's active. And so that's there's several types of items in this game. Well, not several, there's two. And the magazine rack is an active item. It's down in the bottom left hand of my screen, and it charges up over time as I deal damage, and then I can use it when it's active. And then other items like this master round are passive items that just sit in my inventory and give me an advantage. All right, so I've got a little bit of money. I bought this item, which is the Nod key. Go ahead and just buy another piece of armor to be safe. The Nod key has to be bought on floor 2, and we need the Nod key to unlock the secret floor on floor 3. So this is, you see how things kind of build off of each other. And so this is the Abbey of the True Gun. This is the original 2 secret floors in this game were the Oubliette and the Abbey, and this, in my opinion, is the hardest part of all floors. The boss in this level is extremely difficult. He has a whole buttload of health. Free chest. Well, not a great gun, but we got a free key, so I'll take it. The boss has got a buttload of health, and even in the all floors run, where we've been, this is the 4th floor we've been on, we're still really limited on our resources, and we've kind of specifically had to save money, which makes it even more difficult. So getting through here, luckily I have a passive item that gives me armor at the start of each floor, so I've been able to build up a little bit of armor. And that is important because we mentioned earlier that armor limits any damage taken to just one piece of armor. And you're going to see some enemies and some bullets in this stage that are like black and red instead of like red and white, like from this gun nut up here. And these are cursed enemies, and since this is Gungeon and it's full of gun puns, they are not the damned, they are the jammed. And so the jammed enemies, their bullets would do a full heart of damage as opposed to a half heart. But having armor means they still only do 1 armor of damage, so it's nice to have those, have all this armor built up specifically for this stage. We're also going to get a lot more late game enemies like this dude who likes to roll around. This is a harder stage. Nothing great to buy in this shop either. We do have some ammo, so that's important to take note of. I'm gonna go ahead and swap to these guns. Really kind of a war of attrition on some of these levels, because you're using your good guns. If you're saving your good guns for the boss, you're gonna take more damage in the levels. And if you're using the good guns in the levels, you're gonna take more damage from the boss. So really just kind of feeling out where you want to take damage. Right now, I'd rather not. I'd rather have health going into the boss. It's easier for me to kind of get into a rhythm on a boss fight, because we're really going to see kind of the same attacks and patterns. Save this health for later. One of these is going to take me to the chest, and one of them is going to take me to the boss. And I hope the bottom goes to the boss, because I don't want to do that platforming room. I'm going to be making kind of decisions in this run that I wouldn't make were this a kind of PB attempt. I think for obvious reasons and for safety's sake, because the importance is kind of showing off this entire run. Oh man, this was actually pretty lucky. I might go back and find this chest, but we're going to jump in here. All right, so this is the old king. I'm glad we had the boss we had in the very first floor, if you can remember, about 20 minutes ago. It was this boss, but that was like kind of the new Gen Z king, and this is the Boomer Gungeon king. He's got some similar attacks, but they are extremely amplified and much more dangerous. And you'll see some of those jammed bullets as well, which luckily I have a giant bank of armor. So you won't see those doing 2 points of damage. And I'm also using my 2 blanks to bail me out there. This is another gun that's got a really good synergy. The bullets are stronger than they would normally be. I'm on fire. Bullets are stronger than they would normally be, and then it shoots out 3 big slugs if I empty the clip. And the old king will not last much longer, and he's guaranteed to drop me a synergy chest, which isn't as important as the gunslinger because we get all the guns synergies anyway. But this chest would normally guarantee you an item that's synergized with something you have. And, well, we've gotten kind of poor RNG throughout the run, but that is one of the best items we could possibly get. So I'm going to take that. We're not going to waste any more time here. We're going to go to floor 3. That is the chamber gun. And the chamber gun is good because it is going to change depending on what chamber we're in. And very important because the final level in this game is appropriately titled Bullet Hell. And Bullet Hell is long and very difficult. And there's like no great way to figure out the layout quickly. But if the chamber guns form in Bullet Hell, well, you'll get to see it. Just stick around. But we're in the 3rd floor now, and I need to be watching out for rats, which I forgot to look for in the first couple of rooms, because we need to find a secret room. If anybody in chat spots the rat, if you spot the rats, remember them for me. I might be asking for your help. So we bought the nod key in the 2nd floor, and we need to find the place to use the nod key in this floor. So there's a reoccurring character in Gungeon called the resourceful rat, and the rat's main purpose is to make your life miserable. And the way he does that is if you ever leave an item in a room, he comes and steals it from you, which means you can't ever kind of save something, like, oh, well, I kind of want this item, but I want to use this other item first. Now, if you leave the room, you lose the item. And the resourceful rat was added in an update, and he's got his own floor, his own boss fight. And so we get to get rid of the menace that is the resourceful rat. But we have to find his room first, and we'll know where it is when we see rats on the floor. We've got to hunt for those rats, and then also find the boss as well. I need to also save my blanks, which hopefully I will find the rat before I find the boss. We also have a lot of armor, and you can sub out blanks for armor, because the other side effect of armor is when the armor goes off, it does the same thing as a blank going off. We need 2 blanks to open up access to the rat, which it really is takes a lot of resources to access the resourceful rat. You need a key, you need 2 blanks, And then you had to have bought the Nod key, which cost 115 gold. Or it's not gold in this game. It has to be gun related, so they are casings. This is a mimic. I have the mimic tooth necklace, which means nothing to anybody in chat unless you know this game. But I think the version of the mimic item I have makes every chest a mimic, which sounds bad, but it's actually kind of good because now I don't need any. Well, we found the rats. Okay. I don't need any keys to open chests anymore, because if a chest is a mimic, you can just fill the chest. That's like surprisingly decent. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and uncover this trapdoor. We're gonna go ahead and open this, and I'm going to fall down here, use one blank. You hear the sound effect, which means we open the secret bit, and then let's go fight this boss, and we'll use the brick breaker combo here. And this is the Cred Knot, which another pun for the fans. And I have enough money that I know I can buy a blank from the shop. Well, I took damage anyway. If you go hitless on the normal stage bosses, you're guaranteed an item called a Master Round, which gives you another heart. Sorry, can't talk. So that's the easy way to permanently upgrade your health, is to be good at the game. But only gotten one so far, and we took damage to this boss, so I would like to keep my armor, especially for the next boss. Well, lost that bit, but I will get some more armor at the next floor because we have that item giving us armor per floor. And we got even more armor, and we got a mimic pedestal. Come on, game. A mimic pedestal, really? All right, I'm out of ammo for one of my guns, so this one isn't doing much. All right, well, it does mean we get 2 items instead of 1. Man. All right, so take stock of our resources real quick. And now we're gonna go fight the resourceful rat, and I think I need another blank here, but I think I can use the armor to open this if I fall. Nope, that doesn't work. All right, so now we do have to go find the shop, which we've basically full cleared this floor, so the shop will be close by and we can buy another blank. You might notice some weapons acting differently depending on how I'm aiming them, which you can't tell how I'm aiming them, but this game does have an auto. Ooh, okay. Game is just pouring chests on me now. I will take it. The game does have an auto aim function built in, and I am playing with controller, which is not necessarily everybody's preference, and it is definitely not always the fastest for some of the categories. For me, it is mostly a health thing and a ergonomics thing. I work on a mouse and keyboard all day, and so it's hard to then play a game like this on mouse and keyboard. But playing on controller has some advantages, and one of those is I have shoot bound to 2 different buttons. So if I'm manually aiming, I'm probably shooting with right bumper. And if I'm letting the auto aim take the wheel, I can mash A. I'm using the Xbox controller. So it lets me shoot really quickly on some guns. So this is the resourceful rat's lair. And we know the path through this because it's different on every save file. And because I've played this game on this save file, I know which way to go, and I almost went the wrong way. Need to go right, right, up, up, left, left. And that is Like I said, that path is random, and you have to discover the path on your save file by finding a bunch of letters from the rat that he leaves you in chests. And so I'm currently playing on the 100% save file that's available on speedrun.com, and then the path through the rat's lair is documented, so you know going in. You don't have to figure that out for yourself. Like I said, there are some other people that play on, and I have some kind of curated save files for some specific versions of this game. Was that 1 or was that 2? I think that was the second time I went up. Yeah, because the first time were all the little dudes, and then it was the shotguns. And then we're going to go left 2 times. And then we're going to be out. We're going to be at the... okay. This would be the worst way to lose a run, would be to just not get through the rat's lair. All right, so we're to the resourceful rat. This can also be an incredibly difficult portion of the game. You can see I'm already taking some unnecessary damage. But the rat is 2 phases, and I will save what the second phase is, or it's just more fun to discover what the second phase is. And this is not going very well, so we're going to swap over to these guns. Get back to the middle. Why are you... Man. Some of these attacks, the spacing is very difficult whenever he moves around the room. All right. Yeah. Would you kindly go to phase 2? Thank you. All right. So, phase 2 of the resourceful rat. Our guns leave a little bit to be desired, but here we go. And if your guess for what the rat was, phase 2, was a Metal Gear boss fight, then congratulations. You were correct. Oh, this is not the attack I want. All right, we're just going to use a freebie there. My last blank. You can kill some of the weapons on the Metal Gear to kind of limit what attacks he can do. All right, this is a good attack. We've got a good gun to clear all of these enemies and still do damage. This is the attack that I don't want to see. Luckily, whenever we've got 1 armor left, so as soon as I take damage from this attack, the blank effect will... oh no, I thought I had an armor left. This attack lasts a long time. This one's fine. We destroyed that weapon piece, so... All right, so we're out of ammo for the Tetris gun, so we're now just shooting shells, which is not great. Luckily, I can hold what would be, what's that, the Y button, and pick a new gun, and it mostly slows time. All right, we need to get rid of these little dudes. We're getting there. Okay, so we killed the other weapon. So that's the other really all right. Die. Okay. Now phase 3, which it is required to defeat this to make this category official, and it is a punch out fight. I'm sure that's what everybody thought. Phase 3 rat gonna be a punch out fight. So You go from a bullet hell fight to a bullet hell Metal Gear fight to literally punch out. And I'm going to try to stun lock the rat here. I've got the setup. And get the super punch. And we can chain super punches through his second health. Oh, I missed it there. We can hopefully get this set up again. Once I super punch him, he always does the same attack. So you can chain super punches. We got to get the setup for it. Quit eating cheese, man. You got to bring enough for the rest of the class. Okay. We can, if we lose punch out, the run still happens. It's not a game over. But it is required for this category. Oh, well, I missed that. Come on. There we go. You also get more items if you use more super punches, so. All right. That should be the peak difficulty spot for this run. So we're through 6 out of 10 floors. The rat just gave us a whole bunch of... I don't want the boxing glove. The rat just gave us a whole bunch of extra items, and we've got 3 keys for his chest. Shotgun full of love, also really good. You get a bunch of items here. Let's refill ammo where I need it. I've never seen that. I don't know what this little chest dude is. All right, we got the boots. We didn't get Pac-Man, which is unfortunate. But I'll take having the chamber gun. So we get to raid the rat's lair, and we actually got enough of the rat's items that we turned into the rat. The Gungeon's trying to choke me in real life. Okay, so we're on to the 4th floor. We're actually turned into the rat because we picked up enough of his items. So the rest of the game is going to go a little bit more quickly because we've got lots of items. We got the rat's gun, which is decent and has unlimited ammo, so I can kind of just go ham here. The 4th floor, we need to unlock the RNG department, which it is a play on the R&D department, which would be research and development, and RNG because the game is random. I am sure I actually needed to explain that to all of you, but let's see. Let's go back to the rat gun. But I mentioned that because the RNG department is the one floor that's not RNG. It's exactly the same every time you do it, and I think that's a fun little joke. I don't need all of these chests, but I'm just going to keep getting them as they come. I'm not even going to pick up that item. Cheese gun should work well enough to clear all of these rooms out. Hopefully the entrance to the RNG department is going to be after the boss. So we really just need to find the boss. A lot of floors we're kind of avoiding the boss. This floor, just need to find the boss as quick as possible. We're usually strong enough, and I am now. After you get through the True King in the Abbey and the rat in the rat's lair, the next couple of bosses are kind of a joke. There is one boss in this floor that could give you some trouble, but I'm really not worried about getting a bunch of more health or ammo or guns or... I'm still kind of... We got the chamber gun, which is, you know, like we said, really good. Really good for the final level. And so that's kind of like nice to have. We are still kind of like aggressively mediocre with the rest of our guns for what we could possibly get compared to what we have. All right, so that well, here we are, boss fight. All right, where's the mutagen? This is the kill pillars, and I'm specifically using this gun. No, I'm stuck. I'm specifically using this gun because it's got a lot of AoE damage, and you can see AoE damage is really good because they've got split health pools. And we get rid of the last one. I don't know if I took damage there or not. I did. All right, no master round. That is fine. Of course, everything is a mimic. Forgot about that. So we'll take this gun. The RNG department did spawn. So in order to get in the RNG department, I've got to sell 3 items, which we're going to sell things that I don't want. And we can also sell guns. What gun? I don't want this gun. All right. I do know that there's going to be a chest. You can see this locked room right there. I know this is going to be a chest loop. I'm going to go ahead and just delve into this loop for a guaranteed item. Because it should only be a couple of rooms. I'd love to see the shop as well, but I don't think we're going to have time for that. There is a shop on all of the normal floors and most of the bonus floors, but there's not a shop on the 4th or the 5th bonus floor. So we only have one more shop after this. But all right, chest. We know you're going to be a mimic, but we can cover you in cheese. And all right, well, we got a little companion. That can be strong. All right, let's go into the RNG department. We also have the rat's hover boots. That's why I'm floating right there. All right, 3 more floors left, and this floor will be quick because I know exactly where I'm going. We can cheese all these enemies, literally cheesing them. And I know exactly where to go on this floor because, like I said, it is the one floor that is not random. And the boss for this fight, or the boss for this floor, is the cell creep that we sold things to. And that's actually his name is the cell creep. He's the boss of the RNG department, and he's going to complain that we got all the good guns, which is kind of funny because, like, you usually just sell your crap that you don't want. And so that's kind of the lore. You know, everybody's fiending for the hot Gungeon lore, and that is the lore is the cell creep only gets the bad guns, and that drives him to be a boss, I guess. It's his Joker moment. This is a gun that I'm using. I can just mash A with. Auto aim keeps me on targets just enough, as long as I stay close enough to them. That's kind of the trade-off, is you've got to be close enough for the auto aim to take effect. So can be a little more dangerous, but much quicker to be able to mash, and much easier to mash A than anything else. We've got some ammo here. We're gonna go with these guns. We got dude in the helicopter. This fight can be kind of tricky just because he moves with your coordinates, so it's hard to get distance, and he's got these giant projectiles that can be difficult to dodge as well. I'm going to try to stay in my magazine rack circle to take advantage of the unlimited ammo as much as possible. Accidentally hit the map there. I'm sure you all wanted to see that. All right. That is RNG department. Okay. Got 2 good, actually good Gungeon guns in the Gungeon. Imagine getting good guns in Gungeon. But we got the laser rifle, which is going to be really strong, and we've got the explosive crossbow, which is also really strong. And there's there's no more secrets, no more heavy lifting to do. The final floor is just beat the game to unlock it. So this is the forge. It is the final normal stage. Oh, well, Wallmaster, it got me. But I actually don't want to go that way anymore. So the forge can be a giant maze, and luckily the boss stage is big, so the rule of thumb in the forge is to go up and away from the center. So if a route starts to diverge, or it looks like it's going down or back towards the center, you might see me just, pull away and go somewhere else, like I did after that master grabbed me. Or when I'm given options like this room has, I'm gonna choose the one that goes up, because the boss arena is very large. So you just kind of know by default the boss has to spawn somewhere that there's room for it. And the forge can be very quick, can be very slow. I'm glad that we found, I'm going to come back to that. We actually found the shop, which that's decent RNG to get. And actually another chest as well, but got a bunch of spare keys because I don't need any of the keys. All right, so we still don't know where the boss is, so I'm just going to keep going out or up when the game gives me the option to. The explosive crossbow, whenever I reload, the bolts are stuck into enemies, so that explodes and does a lot of damage. And something I've neglected to mention this entire time, but I just remembered, which is really important, especially with the gunslinger, is this game has a damage cap, only for the bosses. And every 3 seconds, or it's like a rolling 3 seconds, the game limits how much damage you can do to bosses. So regardless of how strong you get, the game naturally gates how quickly you can kill things, which has a large impact on why we can't just like completely destroy bosses. And there's a little bit of strategy that comes into play, because you can end up wasting a lot of ammunition if you're trying to attack into the damage cap. You're never going to lose out on damage, but you will waste armor that's effectively dealing no damage to the boss. We haven't hit that yet. We might hit that on the dragon, which, spoiler alert, the final boss is a dragon. All right, we're going out and up still. This is probably not the way, because this looks like it's going down from here, so I think we're going to backtrack. Yeah, this looks more, we're getting a very properly, well, that's not it. Getting a very properly trolly forge seed. All right, we should be coming close, hopefully. All right, there we go. We found it. Go to the shop and let's buy the armor and the trash cannon, which is really strong. Do I need buy ammo for the explosive crossbow as well? We'll probably start with the explosive crossbow here and then change to the trash cannon. All right, so this is the final normal boss. It is the drag gun. And we're gonna... Okay, we're not gonna do this hitless. Again, in the exact one spot I couldn't be there, but that is fine. We got good damage from the explosive crossbow. And using this magazine rack gives me even more ammo. I'm not using ammo while I'm standing in it. You can also cheese and stand in this corner. Here's your speedrun strat of the day. And the dragon is going to go down quickly, and then we're going to change to the laser rifle. And you will see why. You'll see the laser rifle synergy when we get to the final phase, which is the heart. I'm also collecting these bullets in the rat sack, which is another item that we picked up from the resourceful rat. And the laser rifle unloads all of it clip in like a second. So that is the dragon. We got one floor left. We're going to bullet hell, which is as appropriately named as it could be. And you all get to see what the chamber gun does right about now when we get snatched up. All right, so we're going to find the chamber gun, and it has changed because we're in hell, and this is what it does now. It attacks everything on the screen. We will run out of ammo unless we get lucky and get some ammo drops. But we're going to use it. Well, I would prefer ammo drops later. This looks like it's going to loop around. You kind of know when you're going the right way. And you just hope that if it's a dead end, you find the dead end quickly. But I'm sure everyone can see why the chamber gun is so good in hell. It is a long and arduous stage. So being able to attack everything and attack from behind walls is we kind of deserve a break at this point. This has been a really rough run, to be perfectly honest. The hour estimate is like, okay, I really shouldn't ever need this much time, but sometimes, you know, gotta take what the Gungeon gives you, which hopefully the Gungeon's gonna give me more ammo. And we're down. Well, we still got trying to kind of feather the trigger so I'm not using up too much at once, because these channeled guns just kind of eat through your ammo. Well, I can swap over. You can quick swap between guns, so I want something different to quick swap to, so that'll be that. All right, so we're not running in. Okay, so this is a good sign. We went through a bunch of single rooms, and now we've got another three-way choice, which this tells me we're most likely in the right place. Because all the wrong path would have dead-ended by now. So since we got to another room that's letting us choose between directions, lets me know that we're at least on the right path initially. Now this is a dead end. We can go back here, and this should still be the right path. Fill the shotgun full of love, a little bit of love. These enemies are just literally bullet sponges, so there's no reason to waste the chamber gun. I also forgot, I picked up another item called the ammo synthesizer. So I'm I'm gaining ammo as I'm using ammo. I forget the specific mechanics behind the ammo synthesizer, but that's why I'm not running out of ammo as quickly as I should be with the chamber gun. So that's a really good pickup, the combo with the chamber gun. You can see how just like so many different items in the game can affect every different run. So you just gotta... All right, so we're to the Lich, which is the final boss in Bullet Hell. We're going to use the chamber gun as long as I have ammo, which is unlimited whenever I'm in the magazine rack. Especially in this phase because the Lich has got ads. And I'm going to get through the Lich quickly here, take some unnecessary damage just because, you know, why not? All right, so phase 1 is done. Let's see what phase 2's got for us. Got 4 hearts, we got 3 blanks, we got some armor, we got the chamber gun. Actually, all right. Phase 2. All right, we're going to blank out of this attack. All right, we should be able to... Right? Okay. So this is the final phase. The Lich will go down here. I might have to change guns, which will be a little awkward, but I'm going to skip his cutscene. This is the true form. I'm going to burn through him pretty quickly. We got a couple blanks to use. We got lots of laser rifle. Got lots of health to go through. So the last bit of the Gungeon, we've had a good run. Appreciate everybody hanging out. I appreciate being able to take part in another Powerful Pride event. Love raising money for the Trevor Project. And time is going to stop in 3, 2, 1, time. Oh. I think we're right under estimate, which I'll take it. As unfavorable as that RNG is, it's always great just to finish an all floors run, especially in a marathon setting.
That
Again,
was... Oh, go on ahead.
I was just going to say huge shout out to the Rotbot again, who programmed and developed the marathon safety mod we use. It's Mod the Gungeon, which is the platform to mod the Gungeon, and the marathon safety mod are all publicly available. Thanks to everybody that hangs out and watches me run this game, and shout out to all the other runners and everybody putting on this fantastic event. Enjoy the rest of the marathon, and I'll see y'all next time.
Thank you again so much, Dan, for that incredible, just mind-blowing Enter the Gungeon run. I don't know how you're able to pay attention to everything going on at the screen at once. We are about to get into a really awesome showcase. It's going to be our very own Flannel Cat doing a pinball showcase. We've got just a few more moments before we'll be all set up for that, so give us just a bit, and we will be right back. while we're waiting to get the next run set up, I just thought I'd read off some donations that we've had come in. We've got $50 from Radicoon. Great run with some bad RNG, Dan. Thanks for running all floors and being great at commentary. Flapjack says hi. And then we have $29 from Botulism Sauce. What a name. Add more games to unlock and I'll be unlocking them. Great event. And speaking of this great event that we've got going on, you are watching Winter Pride 2022. Stay tuned for our next run, which is going to be a pinball showcase by Flannel Cat. just want to say thank you again for all of the generous donations that we've gotten throughout the marathon so far. You know, we've already gotten up to $3,184. That's in part from a $15 donation from Trader Anade. Let's get those donations in for incentives like choosing Sonic or Tails, as well as, a great cause, less than 3. And Trader Anade, it's almost like we were working together on this because I was just about to read off some information about these upcoming incentives. See, everyone on staff and team is just so in sync that we can make all of this work easy. Oh. So let's see what we've got here. So, Sonic CD 2011. Currently no donations towards that. Could let us choose between Sonic or Tails. Like I said, there's no donations towards that so far, so just a $1 donation would go ahead and get you whichever your choice would be there. We've also got picking the character color for Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited and the SFX pack. The classic Save or Kill the Animals for Metroid Fusion. We currently have $50 towards Save the Animals, so if you'd rather save the frames, you can go ahead and get those donations in for that, or if you want to strengthen the lead for Save the Animals, you could go ahead and do that as well. Exclamation point, donate in the chat. We also have an opportunity to choose the boss sprite for Final Fantasy XIV Free Enterprise. Currently, the stylish boss is what is in the lead, and then there's also an option for a silly boss. Now, those donations, we have to make sure that we get in before the run starts. So don't save those donations till the last minute. Go ahead and get those donations in. And before I go back to silent as we get ready for this next showcase, I just wanted to go ahead and remind you of why we are raising money, and we are raising money for the Trevor Project. The Trevor Project is the world's largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for LGBTQ, that's lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people. The organization works to save young lives by providing support through free and confidential suicide prevention and crisis intervention programs on platforms where young people spend their time. So they have a 24/7 phone line, a chat, text, and soon-to-come integrations with social media platforms. They also run Trevor Space, the world's largest safe space social networking site for LGBTQ youth, and operate innovative education, research, and advocacy programs. All right, it looks like we are almost set up for pinball, so give us just a few more moments and we'll go ahead and get started.